Hi, hello. It's your girl, Miss Sodo Akudo. Okay, today we'll be talking about marketing sizing. As a digital marketer or somebody that wants to go into digital marketing, you have a new brand or you have something in mind, you want to go into it. First of all, I will advise you to do this particular thing, size the market. You have to carry out what we call analysis to know the framework, the number of people that might be needing your product in that particular area. Take for instance, you want to size the whole of Imo State. You're dealing on maybe power bank, lithium power bank. You want to market it to people. You want to know the number of people that finally come to you and buy from you. First of all, you have to know the population size of Imo State. And let's take for instance, it's about 6 million people in Imo State. From these 6 million people, you have to size and know the number of people that will finally be buying from you. Know the kind of people that will be needing that power bank. Power bank is something that is being needed by many people, especially now that we are not really having lights, and also most travelers will also be needing it. So you have to do this calculation. Let's take for instance the population of Imo State is 6 million. Let's just take it for instance 6 million. Then the first thing you will do is to do the calculation, or you do what we call the TAL calculation, total addressable market. You do this calculation first. What you're not going to do is, it says since we have about 6 million people in Imo State, we are just assuming. Then you now assume also that since this lithium power bank is something that many people need because we don't normally have lights, okay, you now assume that about 80% of the community, 80% of the people in Imo State might be needing your power bank. So you have to do this calculation. It's the first calculation you have to do. You now say 6 million times 80%, which is going to give you approximately 4.8 million. 4.8 million. That is the first calculation you're doing. Okay, after doing this TAL calculation, the total time, the targetable addressable market, after doing this first calculation, you will now go into the next one, what we call the SAM. Okay, when you now get to SAM, that is SAM, serviceable addressable market, you now want to calculate. Assume also that 60% from that 80% might be needing your power bank, the lithium power bank. What you now have to do is to get the 80% you use, the final answer you got from multiplying 6 million by 80%, which is 4.8 million. You now divide, you times it, multiply it again by what you just assumed, that 60% from that 80% might be needing the brand, which is the power bank. You now say 4.8 million multiplied by 60%, you just assumed. When you now multiply it, it will give you approximately 2,880,000. That is 2.88 million. This is approximately what it will give you. After getting to this stage, then the last thing you will now do is to calculate the sum. That is the serviceable obtainable market. Under this particular calculation, you will now assume the kind of people, the number of people that finally that might want to have power bank, that might want to be using power bank, because it's not everybody in this particular community or in this state that have money to install solar. So just assume in your mind that after checking this sum, which is the 60% of the 80%, you multiply it by your 4.8 million, it will give you approximately 2.88 million. Okay, the final thing you will now do is to try and calculate for sum, the serviceable obtainable method. What you will now have to do is to, let's just say that at this particular stage you just want to be realistic. You don't want to be taking numbers high. You just want to say, okay, 2% out of that 60% might be needing your power bank. So let's just be realistic. You now use your 2% to multiply the 2.88 million. of the number of people you feel that might want your power bank. When you now multiply it, it will finally give you the average. It will give you around 57,600 individuals. These are now your serviceable, obtainable customers that you feel that yes, you can actually get to. So after getting this, you now have about 57,600 customers that you feel that you know that you can be able to attract to your brand. Okay, the final thing you now have to do is to, okay, let's just assume that the price of that lithium power bank is 20,000 and you have about 57,600 customers. You now have to multiply it by that 20,000, which is the price of the lithium power bank, to know actually your potential profit, if definitely you're going to be making profit from that business or not. So when you now multiply 57,600 customers by 20,000, it will be giving you approximately around 1 billion and something, 1.152 billion. This is your potential. It's not as if it's the profits that you'll be making, but this is your potential profits. So when you calculate it in this way, it will really help you to know whether that business is going to be profitable or not.